A quick look at the cabinet part, and then back to the chassis repair. Good afternoon, YouTube. It is 4:44 now in the afternoon. I am looking at the refinished, or not refinished, but this actually was just the stain was just taken off a little bit with the lacquer thinner. There are some spots obviously that will need more work done on it. Now, this camera that I'm using is the RCA Small Wonder. It is in high def mode now. It's 720p is what it is. Not real impressive on this end. Now, it does have a macro mode, which nobody even mentioned that, but it does have one. And I may switch over to show you that here in a little bit and see what we can see with it. So hang on for that. Alright, this is in a macro mode now. I don't know how good it's going to look or bad or whatever. I'm holding the potentiometers there that I got in the mail today. I'd say about 6 inches away from the camera lens. I just kind of wanted to see how it looked, to test it out. It is still in the HD mode, so there you go for that. We'll do the same thing with this too. I can say this here's got a spot on it, you can see, I think, that didn't get off, and here's a spot here that also did not get off. There's some places here on the edges that I didn't apparently get very good. So that's why I wanted to do another round with this with the lacquer thinner, just to see if I could get this pretty much uniform looking. And actually the wood looks pretty good just the way it is, and you know, as far as the way I think about it anyway. So, you know, it's not as light as it probably could be if all the finish was off of it, but yet at the same time it doesn't look too bad. So I may, like I said, put another coat of lacquer thinner on there out in the garage, because I don't want to do it in here. We'll have the door open and see if we can do that. So that's it for the cabinet on the on that. So I'm going to switch to the other camera now, and I'm going to get back on the radio chassis itself. So stay tuned for that. Alright, just in case it didn't work out as good as I hoped, the other camera, I'm going to go ahead and look at this with this. I think just looking in the display here, it looks like I can see this much better, this area here I was talking about. But the rest of it doesn't look too bad, except for maybe this spot right here. It's got a little darkness to it. And there's some spotty things over here on this side that need to be cleaned off. And they will be done. We'll also take another look at the pots, so we can see those. Now this is the Sony Bloggy Touch that I'm using now, so that gives you a good indication of how the different cameras work. The RCA compared to this one, probably a little closer with this one, probably 4 inches now is where I'm at. So that should give you an idea of the up close personality of the Sony that you can do. So. Alright, now, next thing I'm going to work on, and you know guys, I realize that I said I was going to do the capacitor next, but I'm thinking might as well get this out of the way. This is going to be easier to do than the capacitor, I do believe. As far as I know, this is the extra wire that was hanging around the side there with the piece of tape on it. That's the only wire I could see that would be. Now this wire here, or not this one, what did I say? This is the one I'm talking about here. Yeah, this is the one right here. It connects to the volume control here. Now the also gets another line goes off here, and it's actually like 3 different lines or 3 different items that come off there, because there's this resistor comes off that side. Another line runs here to that capacitor. Well, not that one capacitor, but it runs to another capacitor, I do believe. And so I know the center one runs to a capacitor, 0.01 capacitor, and this is the other side. It goes to the tube socket, I believe. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get this apart and get this started working on this, and get it apart and let it see what we got inside. Now the control itself looks to be in good shape. I mean, it doesn't look like it's in bad shape at all for its age, assuming it is the original one. So anyway, that's what I'm going to try to do. Let me get a screwdriver, see if I can work my way to get these tabs up very carefully. What I like to do is push against the, whoops, like that, and then dab my finger. Not really. I like to get underneath it if I can, like that. And once you get underneath it a little bit, you can pry it up. The same thing with any of these tabs. Just getting underneath that edge a little bit, see how it comes up. So there's two of them. Here's another one here. Now they don't always work that way. Sometimes you have to get a thinner blade, like a knife or something like that, to get them up. But so far so good with these. So I'm going to try this one here next. Just let's get basically a grip like this, and then twist the screwdriver, and it should go right underneath there. Well, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Now I've got them all up, so you can see, I think from this view here, they are all up off of the what do you call it. So the next thing I want to do is take a fresh piece of paper towel and lay it on the tabletop, mainly just in case there is some runaway parts that want to go somewhere else, and we don't want them to go there. So I like to have something like this there to see everything that I can see. You guys know what I'm talking about, I think. This is unusual for me to do this in the camera view. I am trying to show that it is possible, even with limited eyesight. Now I'm doing this without the aid of the magnification lamp at all, and you know, I'm just trying to show that some of the stuff can be done even if you can't see that good. Now I'm gonna hold off on that last one there, or that middle one I should say. Get these over here done first, if I can. Now my goal here is just to get them basically straight up. And then once I get them all straight up, I'll go back to that middle one and do that one. But right now it's in position where it could be, with this one up, the whole thing would lift up, I do believe. Now just in case there's, I don't think there's a spring in there, but just in case there is why I've got it on this towel. You can see this side's lifting up already. So I'm going to try to get this side up. Just put a little pressure there, and then you can see I got behind it, lifted it right up. Now I'm going to very carefully lift this off. I want this all on camera in case something happens where I have to, okay, no parts fell out. That's good, really good. Now I'm going to put it right back down. I have one more thing I want to do first, and that is to turn the switch off, make sure it is off, in the off position. Maybe it's the other way. Now I've messed it up, I think. Oh, there it is. Okay, now it's in the off position. So that's where I wanted it at, and like I say, once it's there, I know it's in the off position. I can go on and do what I need to do to this. Here you can see the bottom of that, how it looks. Nothing spectacular, spooktacular, or whatever this is, Halloween season. So, let's see. Now, I think if we take this off, my goal here is to get at the carbon track and be able to take that off. Now, I think, I don't know for sure, but I don't know if this comes off separately or not. It doesn't appear to turn, so maybe it goes this way. Maybe this comes down. Oh, I see. Here you got your little snap ring. There's a little snap ring. You see that snap ring right there? That's, I knew there was something that had to snap on there. Let's set that out of the way, just a hair smidgen or whatever. Put me some pressure on this side of it and try to work it out. Of course, it's harder to do than just doing it. So anyway, let's see what else I can do here. It's not letting me hold the. All right, let's see if I can get behind it. No, that's not working. It's just hard to hold that and do that at the same time. So I'm going to have another idea here. Well, I don't know what else to try. I know if I hit it with the hammer or something like that, it's just going to turn. You can see it turns real easy. And once it starts turning, there's not much you can do with it. It just keeps turning. Maybe a pick? Let's try a pick. Like this. Let's try that. Yeah, almost. There we go. Now you can see it came off. A little easier than I thought it was. So now we have that off, we can go ahead and take this off carefully. I don't like to disturb too many things if I can get away with it, because yeah, let's see what's holding it now. Must be something on there that's got a burr on it or something. Well, anyway, there's your carbon track. You can see it. It's in pretty good shape, looks like. See if I can get this off a little further. It should come off further now. I think it's got something there. Maybe stopping it. There it goes. A little pressure. Looks like it's had some lube or something on it. You can see how shiny that is, I think. So yeah, it looks like it's been cleaned. Bill, did you do that? I think you probably did. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. But I will take some alcohol and cotton swabs and clean that up really good. And that's probably a deoxit. There is a little lubricant in deoxit. So that may be what it is. I won't mess with that. I'll clean it off with alcohol and then put it back together with the lubricant in it. And that way it should be good. So let me do that. Now this part, set that off to the side a second. This part, really, I don't really want to take that apart. I don't think it was working okay, and I don't think there's really any sense in taking it apart. You can take them apart. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's 3 tabs on there, just like the tabs on the volume control that you lift up, and then you can pry that out. Now there are springs inside there, so that leads me to, and you know, the fact that Bill sprayed deoxit in there, probably I can spray it again. It's not a big deal. I can work the switch back and forth as long as I know where it's got to go back to, which is pointing right here at this. So I can work it back and forth. Now let's see, this way or that way. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. And there we go. So you can switch it back and forth. It's got to go that way. That's the only thing I need to remember is that. But I can spray some alcohol down in there and let it work it back and forth a few times, and that might help it out a little bit. Can't hurt it. So we'll do that, and we'll switch it back and forth a few times. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. There we go. Now I'll leave it sit there, get all the alcohol out of it. Do the same thing with this. Coat this really good with alcohol. Let that sit a few minutes. Find me a Q-tip. And clean this off real here first. You see there is some dirt there. Well, part of that's probably just the carbon itself. Clean the ring off as well. Like get it all cleaned as best as possible. Alright, that's nice and clean now. We can wipe off the wipers a little bit. Doesn't take much on these. You have two sets of wipers. You have one in the back and you have one in the front. Try to get them both clean as possible. Don't put too much pressure on these, and try not to get your cotton fibers stuck in there so they stay in. You're just basically wiping them off, that's all you're doing. So, that's about it. I'd say that's got that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put this in like this with the switch. Now your switch is right there. You can see the I believe that's the switch, or that's the switch, that's the stop for the potentiometer, and I believe that's the switch thing that switches the switch back and forth. So you want to put that in here and basically put that just like that. I haven't got it in there, I don't think. Maybe it goes this way. Might. I don't have that pointing where it's supposed to point, I don't believe. Or maybe I do. Yeah, I guess I do. I'm pretty sure that, I know that's not it, because that's got to go that way. That's the way it's got to go, just like that. Yeah, no, that's like that. Alright, the next element that goes on it is the carbon track itself. Now there's only one way that can fit on. has to be this way, like that. There we go. Now before I get too excited, I want to make sure my switch works. So I'm going to put some good pressure on this and turn the switch, make sure it works. It does. It doesn't want to go back. So I'm going to take it apart because I don't want to mess it up. I know how it's got to go, so we'll put it back like it's got to go. I did have it right though, because see, now it's open now, or switched on, whichever way you want to say it. So we got to switch it back this way. There we go. Now put that back in there one more time. Again, trying to get this right. Yeah, that goes that way. Just like that. And everything's in there just like it's supposed to be in there. Now I'm going to very carefully close these up. Now I'm not got it right because it's turning. It's not supposed to turn. Alright, try it one more time. It's a lot harder with the switch, obviously, than with just the volume control. Volume control's easy to get because you only got one little thing to look at there. But with this, you have a couple of things to look at. It makes it easier, really, without this on here. So we're going to try this again without that, because you can see that's the only thing you have to worry about now. It's just where the tab lines up there and where your on-off switch device is there, and it goes just like that. That's how it goes. Whoops. Yeah, just like that. And it should go like this. Now that should be it. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know how that works. And it is down. Go ahead and put down a couple of these. Or at least one or two, preferably across from each other. Just like that. Now, that is down there. It looks to me like, anyway. Now we're going to try this one more time. Okay, now I got on. I got no, there it goes, now it's going. And it's not right. Oh, I see, it's not up where it's supposed to be. There you go, dummy. Gotta put this thing back in. So let's pull it up a little bit and make sure, yeah, there it goes. That's off, we're gonna leave it right there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the rest of these down and at least get them all started that way. Now put these down. Oops, I missed that one. Alright. Got to move you out of the way just a little bit. There you go. Now she's back down just like she was to begin with. Now we can put the snap ring in, and hopefully all will be well. Hopefully. Pull up a little bit on that and hold it up a little bit while I'm doing this. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, make sure I'm in there before I start. Now I'm going to put all my hand around that, and so I don't want to make sure you know what I'm saying, I don't want it to pop out, and it didn't. So there you go. Works fine. Now, that is good, very good. And we can work that a few more times while that, probably that, what do you call it, still in there. So, now, next step on that is going to be cleaning this garbage off. And I do mean garbage. I don't have my soldering iron heated up right at the moment, so what I'm going to do is set that aside for now. Want to double check, make sure all these are in good. Now there's one thing I didn't do and I should do, probably, is go around here like this with the needle nose across from each other. If I can get them to open up that wide. Clamp them like that a little bit. Same thing with these two. That will push them in a little bit. Now this one here, I can't do that with. Basically just have to go around to behind it here. To behind it? Yeah, to behind it. Probably put a piece of block of wood or something there and hammer that over a little bit. You can see it's a little bit bent out. The other ones are in much better from using the needle nose on them. So I can get that one though. Like I say, it's not a big deal. I'll put a piece of this on here like this. There we go, like that. And I should be able to just take and tap that down with that. Maybe. Maybe not. There, now you can see it's pretty much flush now. Not perfect, but it's not bad. It'll work. Like I say, it works here. That's all that's necessary. And it works good. So that's that. That's it on that one. Like I say, I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side till I get my soldering iron heated up. And let's see what we can do with this in the meantime. Now, my thought is, same basic, let me put this nut back on here before I forget that. Then I'll be yelling at myself like, what did I do with that nut? And myself will be yelling back at me like, you fool, you forgot to put it back on. Alright, that's good. Now this, I'm thinking, maybe, I don't know. Could I get that lucky? Let me get these nuts off because I know that's not going to work. Don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this as far as probably take the heat gun and heat it up. See if I can get that off that way. That would be a thought. I'd like to save this if at all possible. And it looks like it might be able to be savable. As long as I don't get too crazy with it. Hope you guys are seeing all this. Oop, I heard a snap. Luckily it wasn't a piece breaking. I don't think it was. Now you can see it is coming up. Not real fast, but it is coming up. If I get it past these this stuff here, then I think I got a good chance of doing this. And obviously getting that back on shouldn't be a problem, because I think some hot glue would do that. Might take a little bit to do it, but should do it. Now I'm starting to wonder if I'm pulling up the entire tar out of there, or if I'm just trying to get past the wires. Looks like I'm going past the wires. I gotta watch my camera work here. Let me get a little closer, maybe that'll help a little bit. Alright, welcome back. I think my camera went past its half-hour point because it seemed to have went off. I hope you guys didn't miss the exciting removal of that. It did come off pretty easy. That seems like it's a solid piece of tar, whatever you want to call it. So probably what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do it right now because I don't have anything heated up or anything like that, and I'm just going to take and run my, put this some way like this, hold it up, obviously not, I'm not going to hold it because it's a little bit hot, but I'm going to have it held up like that some way, and then just apply heat and see if that will start coming out. If it'll start oozing out, then, you know, I can go ahead and grab these wires with a needle nose or something and pull it out. But that'll be the plan next time, because this one's I know long enough because it already shut off. Alright, gonna cut this off here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. It is now 5:28. No, sorry, 5:20 in the afternoon. And the difference between 8 and 0 is really hard to see because there's a white space in there and it looks almost green. So anyway, 5:20. Like I said, this is going to do it for this. You guys have a pleasant day. Thanks for watching, and we will see ya.